Surah Baqarah, verse 166. When they face their punishment, those who have been followed will disown their followers, and all their ties shall be cut asunder. Those who followed will say, if we could only return to the world, we would disown them, and they have disowned us. God will thus show them their signs as a cause of bitter regret and remorse. God will thus show them their actions as a cause of bitter regret and remorse. They shall never emerge from the fire. O mankind, eat whatever is lawful and wholesome on the earth, and do not follow in the footsteps of Shaitan, for he is indeed your avowed enemy. He bids you only to do evil, and to commit deeds of abomination, and to attribute to God something of which you have no knowledge. But when they are told, follow what God has sent down, they answer, we will follow the ways of our fathers, even though their fathers did not use their reason and were devoid of all guidance. Those who deny the truth are like animals, which hear nothing in your call but the sound of a voice, without understanding its meaning. They are deaf, dumb, and blind. They understand nothing. Believers, eat the wholesome things which we have provided for you, and give thanks to God, if it is Him you worship. He has forbidden you only carrion, blood, and the flesh of swine, also any flesh that is consecrated other than in the name of God. But for one who is driven by necessity, neither craving nor transgressing, it is no sin. For God is forgiving and merciful. Those who conceal any part of the scriptures which God has revealed in order to gain some paltry end, simply fill their bellies with fire. On the day of resurrection, God will neither speak to them nor purify them. They will have a painful punishment. Those are the ones who have taken error in exchange for guidance, and punishment for forgiveness. How little do they seem to fear the fire! That is because God has sent down the book with the truth, and those who pursue differences in the scriptures go much too far in dissension. Virtue does not consist in whether you face towards the east or the west. Virtue means believing in God, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets. The virtuous are those who, despite their love for it, give away their wealth to their relatives and to orphans, and the very poor, and to travelers and those who ask for charity, and to set slaves free, and who attend to their prayers and pay the alms, and who keep their pledges when they make them, and show patience in hardship and adversity and in times of distress. Such are the true believers, and such are the God-fearing. Believers, retribution is prescribed for you in cases of murder, the free man for the free man, the slave for the slave, the female for the female. If the offender is granted some remission by the heir of the slain person, the agreed penalty should be equitably exacted and should be discharged in a handsome manner. This is an alleviation from your Lord and an act of grace. He who transgresses after this shall have a painful punishment. In this law of retribution there is life for you, O people of understanding, so that perhaps you will be mindful of God. It is prescribed that when death approaches any of you, and he is leaving behind wealth, he shall make a will in favor of his parents and relatives, equitably. This is a duty for all who fear God. Anyone who alters it once he has heard it shall be accountable for his crime. Surely God is all hearing and all knowing. But if anyone apprehends partiality or an injustice on the part of a testator, it shall be no sin for him to bring about a settlement between the parties. God is forgiving and merciful. Believers, fasting has been prescribed for you, just as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard yourself against evil. Fast for a specified number of days. But if anyone among you is ill or on a journey, let him fast the same number of days later. For those who can fast only with extreme difficulty, there is a way to compensate. The feeding of a needy person. But he who does good of his own accord shall be well rewarded. But to fast is better for you, if you only knew. The month of Ramadan is the month when the Qur'an was sent down as guidance for mankind, with clear proofs of guidance and the criterion by which to distinguish between right from wrong. Therefore, whoever of you is present in that month, let him fast. But he who is ill or on a journey shall fast a similar number of days later on. God desires for you not hardship, He desires you to fast the whole month, so that you may glorify Him for His having guided you, and so that you may be grateful to Him. When my servants ask you about me, say that I am near. I respond to the call of one who calls. Whenever he calls to me, let them then respond to me and believe in me, so that they may be rightly guided. It has been made lawful for you to go to your wives on the night of the fast. They are like a garment for you, and you are like a garment for them. God is aware that you were deceiving yourselves, and He has turned in mercy towards you and pardoned you. So you may now consort with them and seek what God has ordained for you. Eat and drink until the white thread of dawn becomes distinct from the black. Then resume the fast until nightfall. And do not approach them during the nights of your devotional retreat in the mosque. These are the limits set by God, so do not approach them. Thus He makes clear His commandments to mankind, so that they may guard themselves against evil. Do not consume one another's property by unjust means, nor offer it as a bribe to the authorities, so that you may deliberately and wrongfully devour a part of other people's wealth. They ask you about the phases of the moon. Say, they are a means of determining time for the regulation of people's affairs and for the pilgrimage. Piety does not consist in entering your houses from the rear. Indeed, one who guards himself against evil out of fear of God is the truly righteous one. Enter your houses by their doors and be mindful of God, so that you may prosper. And fight in God's cause against those who wage war against you. But do not commit aggression, for surely God does not love the aggressors. Slay them wherever you find them, those who fight against you. Drive them out of the places from which they drove you, for religious persecution is worse than killing. Do not fight them at the sacred mosque, unless they fight you there. If they do fight you, slay them. Such is the reward for those who deny the truth. But if they desist, then surely God is most forgiving and merciful.